Well, for football fans around the globe, the wait is almost over. The World Cup kicks off later today when co-hosts Mexico face South Africa in Mexico City. The tournament is set to be the biggest in history. For the next 6 weeks, 48 teams will compete across North America, in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. But the usual World Cup fever has been dampened by controversy, with sky-high ticket prices, a border crackdown in the U.S., and protests at the venues.
Mexico City's main square, the Zocalo, preparing to host the Fan Fest for the Men's World Cup. Organizers hope it'll be a celebration of football and unity, with differences put aside. But it's been a chaotic week in the capital. Statues representing footballers have been toppled, disrobed, and spray-painted. The protesters from the National Teachers Union are demanding better pensions. Also making their voices heard are families and friends of the country's tens of thousands of disappeared people, alleged to have been killed or kidnapped by criminal gangs or Mexican authorities.
Our anger is that we have too many problems in every state across the Republic to be celebrating. When families are missing relatives, sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, and we keep acting as if nothing is happening.
In the U.S., meanwhile, which is hosting the tournament with Mexico and Canada, activists are telling football fans not to come. They say international visitors could be impacted by the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
We are in a moment that our neighbors are not safe because of policies that have been targeting individuals simply by their country of origin. And what we saw happening just recently, as a renowned referee is denied entry in the United States.
That referee is Omar Artan from Somalia. Last year named Africa's best male referee, he was denied entry in Miami. The U.S. says he has links to suspected members of terror groups. His name was then cut from the tournament's list of match officials.
Of course, it is unfortunate as well what happened to Omar, the referee from Somalia. But again, we don't control everything. We try, we will discuss, we will speak, we will see. Maybe sometimes it's good as well to just, chill, relax. We work on everything. We try to solve everything. Sometimes to immediately start screaming and shouting has the opposite effect.
Artan has since returned to Somalia to a hero's welcome. Unity was certainly on display here against policies at the world's biggest football event.
For more on this, let's bring in Dr. David Weber. David's a senior lecturer in sports business and politics at the University Campus of Football Business. It's nice to have you with us, David. I want to start with this. As we speak, the tournament hasn't even started yet, and it's already surrounded by controversy. Does FIFA have a credibility problem?
I think it probably could be argued that FIFA had a credibility problem before this World Cup, but I think certainly under Gianni Infantino that it's almost kind of gone backwards to where we were more than 10 years ago during the FIFA crisis, where we saw lots of high-ranking FIFA officials arrested. Infantino's failed to stand up to Donald Trump. So we've just seen a referee not allowed into the United States. This is Africa's top referee. Fans have had their visas cancelled. Players have been detained themselves. As a host nation, the United States has got a responsibility to uphold and protect the safety, the security of participating nations. And that's in FIFA's own statutes. That's in part of the bidding process. But the United States has failed to do that. But worse still is Infantino has failed to stand up to Trump. And that, that deepens the credibility deficit that FIFA has.
I'm going to ask you if you'll permit me to play something of a reporter right now. You are in Manchester, as I understand it, in the heart of a soccer or football crazy country. What is the climate there right now? How are people in England anticipating this World Cup?
I think it's mixed. On the one hand, of course, we want to see England do well. England are among the favourites to go deep into the tournament. It's a very good squad. There's lots of potential there. So there's a general excitement everywhere you look. There's the flags are up, pubs are going to be filled. And there is a genuine sense of optimism and hope. But on the flip side, there is an awareness that this is a World Cup being played out amongst wide political tensions. So we're in a unique set of circumstances where we've got a host nation of a World Cup at war with one of the participant countries. And that, in a sense, is almost just a tip of the iceberg. So we've got, the co-hosts themselves have been involved and embroiled in trade disputes and trade wars, and talk of a kind of an annexation of Canada by Trump. Obviously, the ongoing dispute between the United States, between Trump and Mexico. So there is this sense of uncertainty, this sense of turmoil that is threatening to overshadow the football. And that's kind of what I think people have been forced to decide, really, what is more important here. The football comes around every 4 years. We look forward to it. It's a huge part of our national identity, wherever we are, whether we're in England, whether we're in Germany, Brazil, Argentina, wherever. But it's a huge part of who we are as a nation. But we can't escape from the fact that there is this broader political context which threatens to overshadow it.
This is the first World Cup, as you know, with the expanded format. Critics say it risks diluting the quality and over-commercializing the tournament. Do you see evidence of that already, or is it too early to judge?
I think this is a really tricky question to answer, because on the one hand, I think it's fantastic that we've got nations such as Haiti, Curacao, Cape Verde, Jordan, and several others who are at the World Cup. For a long time, for decades, the World Cup has been dominated by South America, by Europe, and that's been evident in the kind of the successes and so forth. So at one level, it kind of does feel a little bit more democratic, more cosmopolitan. I'm looking forward to watching the Cape Verde side. I'm looking forward to watching Curacao with a beautiful kit and, bringing together all these different cultures. But there is also this sense that these teams have arrived not to displace the European and South American powerhouses, but to extend the tournament. And why has that happened? Well, FIFA know full well. More matches mean more revenue and more kind of opportunities to kind of make more money from the tournament itself.
That's Dr. David Weber. Doctor, many, many thanks to you.
Thank you.
Let's bring in DW's Hecko Flores, who's standing by at the Mexico City Stadium, better known as Azteca Stadium, where the opening is due to take place in a few hours. Hecko, I think it's safe to say there's been plenty of controversy in the build-up to this World Cup, but now that it's finally here, what's the mood in Mexico City?
Well, the mood here, at the stadium at least, is that of joy. You see a scene of green shirts coming to the stadium, and the days upcoming to the match here in Mexico City, you would see people in the streets just wearing the shirt just on a random day. But not only Mexico shirts, you would see Colombia shirts, Germany shirts, Spain, the usual suspects. So football fans are really looking forward to this tournament. However, it needs to be said, of course, as we know and we just saw in the piece, there's been protests, a myriad of protests really, and the biggest one has been that of teachers. And just a few days ago, the road leading to the stadium was blocked by the police in order to keep protesters out. So again, it's a mixed mood in the city. So for football fans, it is a celebration, but not everyone in Mexico is really celebrating.
Protests and also a major change in the format. The World Cup has expanded from 32 to 48 teams this year, which means a longer group stage. Two-part question, what's the motivation behind that change? And is the criticism that it dilutes the tournament justified, you think?
Well, it always depends who you ask. So if you ask FIFA, they will give you the official response that it is to expand the game. So in 1998 was the first time that we had 32 teams. Now it's 48 teams. The question is, where does it stop? So the UEFA president of European football, the president of European football, Alexander Schäferin, he already has said before he's opposed expanding the World Cup. However, FIFA say, as mentioned, we're expanding the game, but what that means, it's more games, meaning more money for FIFA. So it really depends who you ask. Yes, of course, you will have new teams at this tournament, and that gives them a chance to participate, but the question is, when does it stop?
Let's get to the nitty-gritty here. Walk us through the favorites this year.
Well, I think one of the biggest favorites has to be Spain. They're European champions, Euro 2024, and they're one of the strongest teams, really. France, I would always keep as one of my favorites, really, just because they have such a deep squad and they have a lot of talent. 2018, they were World Cup champs. 2022, they got to the final. And now 2026, it's bound to see, but I think they have a good chance. I would pick those as two of the big favorites. Let's not forget, we are in the American continent, so maybe Brazil, Argentina, I wouldn't discard them either.
You're on the American continent, but of course, as you know, I'm sitting here in Berlin. So what about Germany?
Well, Germany is going a little bit under the radar, really, this time around. After 2018 and 2022, which were awful tournaments, really, 2026 is looking actually bright for Germany. In 2024, they had a great Euros when we had it at home in Berlin. And Germany did really well at that tournament. They did not reach the final, but I think this time around they're flying under the radar. They have young players like Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz, who can actually maybe make the difference this time around. And at least Germany have a better chance of getting out of the group stage, hopefully.
You are hereby named DW Prognosticator. Who's going to win this thing? Tell us now.
If you ask people around here, they will probably say Mexico. Really, the atmosphere here is buzzing for Mexico as they are playing at home. But I will have to go with Spain. I think Spain would be my pick. I think they're such a strong team. They really dominated during the Euros, so I think I would keep it there. And they're playing here in Mexico as well, so I would see Spain as one of the favorites.
A strong man there, not succumbing to peer pressure. DW's Hecko Flores in Mexico City. Thank you, Hecko.